All right, we are here. We are here, are you here? Type thing, right? Yeah, we got sound. We're good to go. Welcome everybody to the live update here. We're going to get going and let some folks dial in here, and we'd ask that you share it. Tag your friends in the comments. I am promoting a couple of shameless plugs here. BAM Weather, of course, and my friends at First Form, the First Form energy drinks, I do believe are the best. But good afternoon, everybody. We're going to do a kind of an updated live update, if you will.
An updated update.
Yeah, how groundbreaking. And talk to you about the morning model runs that came in, and kind of give you an idea of, some of the trends and things that we've seen here this morning with the model runs. If anything, kind of what we talked about earlier this morning was we had some concerns about the dry slotting and we still have those concerns, but the morning models have really said, hey, I think we're going to be able to fill that in a little bit easier. So let's get into it. There may not be as many people that watch here for this particular update. It's kind of right in the middle of work. A lot of people are probably working today. We're going to have another live update, though, this evening during the halftime show of the Notre Dame game, the Sugar Bowl.
Sugar Bowl.
Have we heard any announcements on that not happening?
I don't think so. Not that I've seen. I'll double check.
Okay.
Looks like it's on.
Okay.
As far as I can see.
So let's get right into the analysis today and talk about what we're going to be looking at. So this here is radar right now. Again, you can see the area of snow up here to the north and west. All right, that's working in. That will be coming in here, kind of working its way down through tonight and through early tomorrow morning. And, along and north of the I-74 corridor from Urbana over to Indianapolis, and then over here towards Greensburg area, kind of north and east of that, is where we're anticipating snowfall tonight. And it's going to bring in kind of the Arctic air that we're talking about ahead of this next storm system that will help it get colder. And hey, and this is really cool. Since we're getting close to being within 48 hours of the storm, so you might be able to start trusting us now. I was told that our friends who said that we were the space cowboys, or what were we? The social cowboys.
Meteorologist cowboys.
Meteorologist cowboys. The storm that didn't exist a couple of days ago. I was told now they were really stressing. You can only trust us a day or two out. The internet sensationalism here. Anyways, I lose track of thought when I.
It's okay. It's okay.
Sometimes it's like taking candy from a baby. I mean, this is not that hard.
We don't have to. There's no reason that people in this profession need to attack each other.
No, I just, it's like, hey, you can trust us now because some imaginative, authoritative figure somewhere says that you can.
Internet media cowboys was the
Internet
correct.
media cowboys. Yep.
Yeah. Well, guess what? The internet is the future, I think. Social media is
We
the
do
future.
have our cowboy hats on order.
Ooh, are they going to be here tomorrow?
I don't know.
If not, I'll come into the office Saturday. We'll make sure we get them.
Anybody knows anybody at First Form? I love their drinks and First Form energy drink. Go get you one. If you guys watch the Andy Frisella podcast, it's not an ad, but
But it could be.
it could be. Anyways, let's get back to it. Snow coming in tonight. All right. Since we're within 24 hours, you can trust us. You see it here on the radar, northern Illinois, coming in through, again, portions of northern Indiana. I'm going to go to the forecast for just 24-hour snowfall outlook here, just to give you an idea of who it's going to impact. I think there can be a coating of snow around and southwest of the I-70 corridor here. Kind of, again, through Urbana, down through Indianapolis, kind of the Greensburg area. There can be some snow that makes it south and west here of that location. But a consistent model average has this swath of snow, 1 to 2 inches here across northern Illinois, northern Indiana. And then getting into portions of central Ohio. I'll lean back here. It's a big area there, 1 to 2 inches of snow with this first round that'll move through. And again, it'll bring in the cold air. It'll certainly bring in the cold air. In fact, current air temperatures right now, you can always analyze the current air temperature on Clarity very easily. Right now, the current air temperature here is about, 37 degrees. And then up into the north and west here, look how cold it is up in the portions of Minnesota. It's 9 degrees. So you can see that cold air is going to be making its way into the area. Yeah, cold air's coming. So.
Yeah, I was just looking at that real quick. So we haven't talked a lot about after the storm, but temperatures probably with the snowpack. The Clarity app has 0 degrees on Thursday morning of next week, and I wouldn't be shocked if that trend's even colder with the snowpack.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely agree with that, and I think the cold air probably builds in pretty easily. Brett, could you do me a huge, high maintenance favor?
Yeah.
I'm hot. Can you turn that? It gets hot in here.
It gets really
We have
warm.
a fan blowing, but I mean, it's warm in here. Brett's a saint.
Can you feel that?
I can.
Is that okay? Good.
Fantastic. Thank you. Okay. Anyways, let's get back to it. Let's get back to the forecast here. I want to show you a product here that is from the what we call Weather Prediction Center. From the Weather Prediction Center, what this is the basically the probability of significant wintry accumulated precipitation. All right, it's the odds of just seeing a significant amount of snow, sleet, or ice, or whatever, the liquid equivalent of seeing that being above 1/4 of an inch. And I can tell you, that I haven't seen it maxed out like this in quite some time. 90% probabilities for that really being, kind of the heart of the worst of this coming through West Virginia, northern Kentucky, southern Ohio, south central Indiana, over through south central Illinois, and then back out there across portions of eastern Missouri. And so to see this maxed out, this is a product that uses several different modeling techniques, weather model ensembles, and things that really help, solidify confidence. And there's, we're looking at multiple pieces of data. Again, haven't seen this product look like this for this wide of an area. I can't really recall a time like that. So just want to kind of throw that out there, right? Here's a look at the European weather model. This is kind of the model, the solution that we're kind of favoring right now. We looked at all the models. We looked at the UK Met. There's a model from United Kingdom. There's a model from Canada and Australia and Germany. and United States and in Europe. So we look at all those this morning. We've got them all in here. The European is kind of the favored solution. A couple of these were really, aggressive. The American model was some of the most really aggressive forecasting for snow that I have seen in quite some time. So that's certainly interesting. Just interesting note there. I want to take this forward a little bit. There's the wave of snow tonight, okay? You can see the wave coming through. I've beat that into the ground. It's going to snow tonight. Someone's going to owe me $100. Her name might be Amanda or Angie, or I don't even know her name.
I think it was Amanda.
Amanda.
We have an Amanda in here. I don't know if she's going to pay you $100 though.
Might not be that Amanda. Someone owes me $100. I'm telling you, because it's going to snow in the morning. And the bet was literally nothing would happen. $100 that literally nothing would happen. So just something to, anyways, sorry. As we go forward, again, you can see snow moves out tomorrow afternoon, okay? And then it's in between the two. Watch this. Watch her come on in. This is, again, the European model. Here it comes. I'm going to pause. This is Sunday morning at 7 a.m. All right, Sunday morning at 7 a.m. You can see, I'm going to take this over here just so I know it could be a little distracting. I don't want to distract you guys too much. But you can see Sunday morning there at 7 a.m. that we've got a nasty storm moving in. And again, you can kind of see what I'm talking about here with, look at the state of Missouri.
We have a lot of Amandas watching.
Oh boy.
By the way. Saying it's not them.
Okay. Someone said they thought it could be Amber.
Maybe it's Amber.
It was Amanda. Okay.
It's funny, but it's funny how many Amandas we have watching. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it is funny. Well, thank you all for watching. Listen, I don't care if I get the $100. It's not a big deal. It's all fun and games.
Well, somebody says they thought it was Ashley. It started with an A.
Started with an A.
Confident.
Yeah. She's probably not watching because she probably stopped by to, be rude and whatever. Anyways, so you can see out here, Sunday, 7 a.m., snow's working in, okay? Our storm system's out here. It's out there in eastern Kansas getting its act together. And you see as we go forward, starts to snow pretty good. Now, when the snow starts Sunday morning, this particular projection here is at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Sunday, simulated radar guidance. Right, you can see the snow working through the state here, Greensburg, Indianapolis, up through Terre Haute, Lafayette, all the way over into Iowa. And then you can see the leading edge down here in Kentucky. Now, if you are along the I-70 corridor, kind of all the way out here, all right, along this area, it's going to stay snow for probably about 12 hours. And it's probably going to snow pretty heavily for quite some time, okay? Something to keep in mind here is the snow's going to come down pretty hot and heavy throughout the day on Sunday. All right, I'm going to take you out to 1 o'clock on Sunday. Again, you can see just how heavily it's snowing across central Indiana, central Illinois, north central Missouri. Up here in northwestern Missouri, I wouldn't be shocked to see blizzard conditions with a strong wraparound wind on the northwest side of that low pressure center. Very, very gusty winds. I'll talk about that in a second, which, by the way, the weather modeling has increased on the wind field forecast. It's gotten a little bit stronger. So anyways, oh boy. Anyways, and this is 1 o'clock here on Sunday. Snowing good. I mean, it's snowing hard. And then I'm going to take you out 2, 3, 4 o'clock Sunday. Now, I want you to watch a little bit the line here of the rain, snow, ice, sleet, line. There's going to be 4 different types of precipitation plaguing places like southern Indiana, southern Illinois, southern Missouri, and the Boot Heel of Missouri. Thunderstorms breaking out across western Tennessee and up through Alabama, Mississippi. Some of the storms could be strong, but there is a nasty, nasty signal for ice in here. I don't think we're seeing enough talk or attention about how nasty the ice could be from this particular situation. So I want to talk about that as well. As we go forward, there's another 3 hours out. This is 7 p.m. Sunday. It's still snowing, by the way. The one thing the models did a little bit this morning, the 12Z models, is they were a little bit more broad and filled in with the moisture wave. And what they did is with the storm system itself, is it started to neutral to somewhat positively tilt the storm system. That's important for us because it's a slower energy transfer if that happens. All right, because in the particular geographical location that we're in, it snows longer and it snows better, if you will, because we're not losing energy to the East Coast. These storms like to give energy off. The morning models, actually that works out for us because of how cold it is. The European model in particular has this snowfall coming down at a 15-to-1 ratio. The normal ratio is a wet 10-to-1. Well, the 15-to-1 ratio is a drier, more powdery snow. It's colder. Temperatures are in the mid-20s. It makes travel way worse, by the way, horrendous travel. And the other thing that it does is that you get a lot more bang for your buck. So, for example, the European puts out 9/10 of an inch of water. That's almost an inch of liquid. You take 9 times 15 and you get 15 inches of snow pretty much, 14 inch or 13 inches on, or something like that, 13 or 14, I can't remember. Regardless, you get more because it's colder. And that's really basic science. That's not like groundbreaking science. It's not like we're saying anything that other meteorologists wouldn't know. Now, have someone commenting in here that is it possible though? And I'm going to talk about that. I want to talk about the possibility here in a minute, but I'm going to get through the simulated radar. I'm going to pause it here because this particular frame, you're going to see that gap of dry air work in. That is Sunday night between 7 to 10 p.m. As that dry air fills in, you're going to be looking at pockets of no precipitation or sleet. All right, just annoying sleet kind of pelting your face and hitting the windows, and you're going to be looking outside going, where's the rest of the snow? Well, the European, by time the dry slot arrives, already has a respectable amount of snow. It's actually not bad at all. I'm going to show you how much it has through the ending of that before the first wave. Because remember we talked about kind of being concerned with the first wave. I'm going to take it out to hour 93 right there. That's through the first wave. Okay? Did I go too far? 90. There we go. That's through the first wave. So the first wave, the European says, we're going to dump 6 to 10 inches locally higher amounts, maybe 11, 12-inch amounts of snow before we even talk about a second wave, right? So that's quite a bit heavier on the morning runs of the models, and that kind of came through all the models, by the way. That wasn't just one outlier. We're not picking the worst and hoping we get the heaviest. In fact, this is probably the most conservative model of the morning. The Canadian, the UK Met, the American model, they all were much heavier. Guys, the American model put 20 inches of snow in the Indy metro area.
Oh, I didn't know if you were going to say it.
I said it. 20 inches.
Now you got to show the map.
I don't know, I can't show the map. But we're not showing it because we don't agree with it. Historically, only one time in 150 years have we seen a 2-day snow total of anywhere close to that 16 inches. I think it was back in 1910 or something. It was a long time ago. It's not likely. The most we've ever seen in a 24-hour period is 12 inches. All right, back in 1960, I believe.
So I think that I was looking at this earlier. I think the 2012 storm was very close too.
Not in Indy though, was it?
Not sure. Let's look. Also, some people are asking if you could zoom that in a little more.
Oh boy.
But I'll double check here.
There you go. There's your first wave, your first round of snow accumulation from the European model. The 1978 blizzard is interesting because it wasn't the amount of snow. Mm-hmm. It was 50-mile-per-hour winds with temperatures in the 20s, in the teens. So the amount of snow in the blizzard of 78 is in its own category, but you know, just for the record, I mean, we've only gotten 6 inches or more of snow in a 24-hour period in January 8 times since 1990. So it's not like we're not talking bum snow here. So,
I must have been making that up. I have been proven wrong.
you've been proven wrong.
Yeah, it wasn't 12 inches in 2012.
What was it?
I don't know. It's not on here. The one-day total 2014 was 11.4.
Yeah. That's the biggest one-day total since 1990.
Yeah.
I do know that much. Ah! Crap. Go back to it.
No, by the way, you mentioned 1978. That one had 15.2 for the 2-day.
For the 2-day total.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Guys, I've lost my footing here. When we do the zoomages, it really messes with me.
While you're doing that, a couple of comments in here that I had. Somebody asked earlier how we can predict this if it's not even out of the Pacific yet.
How can we predict it if it's not even out of the Pacific yet? That theory has been debunked for years. Used to be a long time ago, meteorologists would say, well, we'll get a better sample of the storm when it gets over land. That's just simply not true.
There's so many satellites now,
Yeah.
so much data collection that happens, airplanes.
Yeah.
That was one issue that we actually did have during COVID, is because so many airplanes weren't running.
Yep.
That we lost some of our data out in the Pacific.
Yep.
But that's not an issue right now.
No, it's not. And storms getting up over the over land to make them more accurate, that's not an actual thing. It's just not true. There's a lot of evidence to support that. Get into that to another time. Can Michael turn up his mic? I don't know. Am I not loud enough?
I can see what I can do.
Yeah. Sorry. I moved it. That might help if I moved it a little bit. But so that's the European model, by the way. If we get the second wave, you would have a lot of 12-inch plus. Yeah, that's what they said. That's what the midday news said. Is that it's still over water, so who knows? I can't tell you how outdated and incorrect that thinking is. It just doesn't matter. I can't even tell you. So, someone said, "Please scream the weather at us." People make me laugh. Anyways, let me go to the next map because this is the ice element to the storm, and it's a nasty one. I want to go through and talk about the ice starts accumulating Sunday morning. Central Missouri through St. Louis, south and southwest there into southern Illinois, you guys are in for a nasty, nasty ice storm. Widespread power outages and horrible travel concerns there. Not going to be good. This is ice accumulation out through Sunday at 4 p.m. Over 1/4 of an inch easily, and that can be prolific. Look what it does. Look at the European. I mean, even if you cut this in half, this is 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch ice. So, you would talk about 1/10 to 1/2 inch of ice here being conservative if you just took the European model at face value. The thing is with what's interesting about this particular storm and all the other forecasts and meteorologists, I commend everybody that's putting out their thoughts and talking about this. But all the models are saying the same things. So it's like, the devil's in the details for sure. There can be risks like there are to any forecast. But it's not like that we're just picking the worst one. We're actually showing you one of the most conservative solutions, which is the European model. This is something to keep in mind. It's not like we're out here cherry picking, the worst case scenario. We're not. It's just not what's happening. So if you guys watched in the morning, I talked about the dry slot issues, and I am gonna touch a little bit on the meteorology side of things here in a moment. I'm gonna take you guys to school here in a second, but I want to show you the winds because the winds are starting to become a factor in the latest forecast. Sunday night into Monday morning, we see winds now gusting about 30 to 35 miles per hour from out of the north and northeast, east-northeast winds there. Okay. when you go forward, waking up Monday morning, temperatures are probably going to be in the low 20s, and winds are going to be gusting at times as high as 40 miles per hour. So as the storm is tightening up a little bit and gotten a little bit more organized, we're noticing stronger wind forecasts out of this as well, which can be concerning. Someone just said, Michael, have you had your blood pressure medicine today? Does it look like my blood pressure's up?
Can you see? Can you tell by looking at someone that their blood pressure is
my
up?
face red?
No.
I don't know.
I don't know what that means. Maybe it's because this is a stressful time. It's stressful to forecast the weather.
Oh, I'm not stressed.
I was gonna say. I mean, I'm excited.
Yeah, can't stress me out. No. I kind of thrive on this kind of stuff, really. And I really thrive on the naysaying, I don't know if anybody else is that way. I love naysayers. I love them.
We get probably hundreds of those types of comments.
Yeah.
We'll continue to get hundreds more over the next couple of days. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You gotta have if there's anybody watching that wants to go into weather forecasting, you have to have thick skin.
Yeah, one thing my dad taught me when I was very young was to just have thick skin, just not let things get to you. And so they don't care. Anyways, I do need some bourbon, but unfortunately I can't have any. I'm going to have a cigar here in a little bit. I'm going to go watch the Notre Dame game and smoke a cigar. So I don't need comments about how it's not healthy. I don't care. So please don't give me those comments either. So anyways, let's windy. It's going to get windy, right? So by the way, everything going on today is all sponsored by our friends at Express Steel. Express Steel powers these live interactions with you all. ExpressSteelInc.com/BAM. They've got snow pushers. You're going to need it. You're going to need it come Sunday into Monday. I can tell you that right now. They're hand built, quality made parts here in Martinsville, Indiana. Find them on Facebook. ExpressSteelInc.com. They power the streams for us. We're always very grateful for them.
Yeah, $100 off too with the code BAM if you go order.
Off.
Yeah.
Code BAM is beautiful. So I wanted to get back to this real quick. I'm gonna do something here. I wanted to talk a little bit again about some of the meteorology behind this storm system. I'm gonna take you out here to, let's go right here. I'm looking at the European. So I want you to see this nice swath of snow. Some of you have been asking a little bit, about the dry slot and these types of things. I want to show you something. This right here is what we call skew-T. This is a profile of the atmosphere that basically tells us the temperature of the moisture, the temperature of the air, and tells us if there's moisture in the air and lift and clouds and all the things. And you can see how it's real nicely put together, real close. Lines are touching, pure saturation. You see that little zero right there? There's a little zero right there. That line runs at a slant up through the, like this. It runs through a slant. That's the freezing line right there. So everything west of that freezing line in the world of meteorology tells us that's snow. Okay? It's saturated. The lines are touching, so it's precipitating. There's precipitation falling from the sky. I want you to watch this as the dry slot works in. What starts to happen? Because that's the risk to the storm. As it continues to snow, it looks great there, right? And then the next thing you know, you see this pop up. All right, we'll click right here in central Indiana. Okay, look what you see here. Even though I clicked on blue on the map and it shows that it should be snowing, there's a large gap now. And the gap comes in, looks like in the early morning hours of Monday. This is a scan here at 03Z. This is actually late Sunday night. This is 10 p.m. Look at how they've become separated. This is a large pocket of dry air. Okay, the low pressure system now is starting its transition of transferring energy. So the dry slot works in, the lower relative humidity values, the lower moisture values work in, and this particular profile would become sleet. So it would start sleeting hard pellets or like frozen raindrops, really, like kind of nasty, right? And that would go on for a time. But as the atmosphere starts to resaturate on the backside, not quite there just yet, that's 1 a.m. Monday morning. Now I'm going to take you out to 4 a.m. Now we're back to being saturated to snow. So there's going to be a period. Here's what's going to happen. Sunday night from like 8 p.m. to Monday from till like 3 a.m. in there, a lot of people are going to be pissed off. And they're going to be saying, BAM sucks. You guys said it was going to snow all night long, all day, the biggest snowstorm ever. You guys always do this, blah, 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 blah. There's going to be a period of no snow coming down because of this happening. But then as the atmosphere resituates, reorganizes, all of our models, by the way, do this on the backside. They suggest that we can get some snow again on the backside of the low. We call it the deformation band. It's where things get organized again, and the snow can come back. Okay? So for a time, for 6 to 8 hours, Sunday night, early Monday, you're going to look outside, you're going to hear sleet, and you're going to freak out. That's what's going to happen. Especially if you're in central Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, you're going to freak out. Okay? Now, here's what's cool, is it comes back. I promise. It comes back. Okay, so I'm going to show you the probability here of 6 inches or more of snow. And I want to back up a little bit so I can, our friends here at Nice Construction, they are sponsoring this map here for all of you to see. But it's cut off, Brett. I'm trying to.
Oh, you're in front of it.
I'm trying to show it. I'm gonna move. Let's see if I can.
Yeah, there you go.
These guys called. It's still kind of cut off because of my screen.
I put it on the wrong side. I didn't think
put it
about
on the wrong side.
I didn't think about the.
We're gonna take care of these guys at Nice Construction. We're gonna get them. We're gonna take care of them. We'll get them a nice post, Brett.
Okay.
How about that? Nice Construction Services out of Indiana. The guy called up and he's like, "Man, I love what you guys are doing. I want to support you all," and I thought it was really nice of him. But look at this probability of 6 inches or more of snow. This is remarkable. This is basically 80-90% probability of snow accumulating over 6 inches for this storm, especially in and around the Indy metro area. Okay, pretty incredible. All right, so let's look at this. Let's look at this. Let's look at our probabilities here. We're going to go to our snowfall probabilities. I'm going to show you the probability of 4 inches inside of 48 hours. So like, what are the odds of getting 4 inches of snow with this storm? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm going to show you. So we get pretty strong confidence. You know what? My can's in the way, and I can't see it. Hang on. I have another energy drink in the way. I have a problem. I drink a lot of energy drinks. The probability here, though, of 4 inches or more of snow is pretty high. Go right, there you go. So the third contour is basically, I believe it's 90% or higher. So you can see the third dark line there. It's basically saying 4 inches or more of snow. Okay. At this point, it's like, we're not questioning if it's going to snow. It's not a, is it really going to do it? Yeah, it's going to do it. Right now, we're trying to figure out how much, right? Because you go out here through all of central Indiana, and your 75% chances are higher right now of at least 4 inches or more. That's what these maps mean. At least 4 inches or more. Okay? That's what that's what it means. And you can see that the best probability for that is along the I-70 corridor. Right? Again, the third black contour is a lot of snow. Guaranteed snow. Someone says I'm in the way. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of in the way. Here, I moved for you. How's that look? Move this stuff here too, so you guys can see the detail a little bit. Any good comments, Brett? Nothing.
I'm looking through.
Okay.
I'm looking through. I don't. It's not scrolling up all the way for me for some reason. But somebody wants to know if you coach. No, we're not going to answer that.
I coach what?
Flag football in Bargersville.
I did, actually. Coach my son's flag football team.
I didn't know if you wanted people knowing that. Sometimes people show up and
Yeah. Don't like be weird, you know. Yeah, don't
somebody
be weird.
wants to know about Columbus, Ohio.
Yep. Okay. Columbus, Ohio. Sure. Columbus, Ohio. Special request. Zooming in. The probability of 6 inches or more of snow. Boom. I'm going to click right on it, and the probability for you is 55% right now. And again, that's looking at an ensemble blend from weather models all over the world, right? Now, this is the map for the ensemble blend of 6 inches or more from this system. Again, high probabilities here. I'll zoom into central Indiana. High probabilities of 70% or more. An epicenter right here at 86% on this particular run. Okay, and out west again along the I-70 corridor, you can see that those are pretty heightened probabilities. We get new data in on this at about 4 o'clock today. So I'll have it for the Sugar Bowl halftime show tonight.
Woo!
Against Notre Dame and Georgia. Go Irish, go Notre Dame. Someone emailed us and said they would never root for Notre Dame, go Georgia. You know who it was? It was Travis Garrity.
Why do Purdue fans hate Notre Dame so much?
Because Purdue sucks.
Well, that's
And I think they won one game this year.
They did. They won one.
I mean,
they did.
What do you do? It's like they're just not good. You know?
They lost to Notre Dame 66-7, and they lost to IU 66-0. Sorry, Purdue fans. It just
66-0.
yeah.
Let's go to the winner chicken dinner. The odds of 12 inches or more of snow. All right, I'm going to start it out here in Illinois for you, so you can see. For those of you in central Illinois, quite the odds. Okay, out here across portions of southwestern Illinois, you've got odds at almost 50% for snow to accumulate of 12 inches or more. So, rare territory for this type of modeling to show this type of intensity in the snow forecast. All right? Rare territory. Someone says, show the 20 inches. I'm not doing it. Don't.
No, because you know what'll happen. Somebody will screenshot us showing that picture, and then we'll get all kinds of hate. We're opening ourselves up for chaos.
Yeah.
Chaos.
So that's the Illinois zoomage action. Let's go over here to central Indiana. And what the blend is trying to do is pick up on the deformation banding. Again, over 100 different weather models are saying the odds of 12 inches or more of snow right now is about 42% across central Indiana. That's interesting. That's a lot. It's a lot of snow. Can you agree, Brett?
It's a lot of snow. Now, I do think it's important for people to keep in mind. By saying that, we're not guaranteeing a foot of snow.
It's 42% probability.
It's a probability math.
That's what it means.
It's not an official forecast. It's just to give you an idea of what the potential is in this storm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that means there's a 58% chance that we don't get 12
Yeah.
inches. But it means that there's a very high chance we're going to get a lot of snow.
There's another interesting way to view this, and I'm going to pull this over here so you guys can see it. Maybe not. Let me try something. If you guys have Clarity, and you click on the Chances tab, if you have the Pro subscription to Clarity, I'm going to pull this over and I want to show you guys some pretty cool tools. So if you go here to the Snow tab, Chances of Clarity, and I zoom in, you can see how we've talked about minimum, likely, and maximum. All right, look at what we're doing is we're looking at all the data. So what we're saying is we're guaranteeing low end 1.57 inches. That's like worst case scenario, worst performing part of the storm. Don't get much. The likely forecast that we have in the engine right now is 8.2. You can get this data. This is us dissecting all the ensembles across the board and presenting it to you. Minimum, likely, and maximum outcomes. All right, and you can see 8.27 is the most likely. That would be here in Johnson County. This is for my house, Bargersville. Look at the high end. There's your GFS members. There's your GFS forecast right there. 19.6 inches. That's crazy. And then you go down to Monday, another guaranteed 2.7 on the likely with a 7.8 inch high end. Right? So you've got crazy modeling in here suggesting really aggressive amounts of snowfall. Then you can go and look at the temperature data. Look how cold it's going to get next week. Again, Clarity does all this in the Pro version. You can scan and sign up. Got to get the Pro though. You can't get the starter. You got to get the Pro. You got to spend the bucks. What is it? $750?
$750 for Pro, no chat.
Yeah. You got to spend the bucks to get the good data there. But that's the chances tab. Pretty cool. And then you can go to the daily forecast, and it'll break this down for you even more. I love the daily forecast tool. This is a 10-day outlook. It talks about the probability of snow. You can see in the 10-day forecast, we've got a 100% probability of 8 inches of snow. I mean, that's remarkable, right? In our blend data. And then we've got a 70% probability of 2 inches of snow on Monday. So that's basically a 90% chance, 85% chance of 11 inches of snow. All right. So I'll show you the actual snowfall accumulation map. I know you all are curious. Zoom this out here. We'll go over. I'm going to show you Clarity's snowfall forecast because it is it's aggressive. Do you think everyone's ready?
I'm not ready.
You're not ready.
And we do have on YouTube a lot of questions about Kansas City. I don't know if I think they've got a game this weekend, but
Okay.
Kansas City and kind of like from there to Central Missouri.
Okay.
A lot of different
Well,
people on YouTube.
I'll go there. Let me tell you the Indiana snowfall predictions from this particular wave here. If you go out into Hendricks County, you're 11.3 inches. If you go into Indianapolis, right now the model's suggesting 10.9. Down here in southwestern Johnson County, that is 12.2 inches. Okay. Anywhere in the red, it's 8 to 12 inches. The red is 8 to 12. Where'd you say people were asking for, Brett?
Kansas City.
Kansas City's an interesting spot, and I think we might end up being a little bit higher on snowfall there in our hand-drawn map, and we'll go to that in just a moment. But the Kansas City forecast right now for snow is 6 inches. I think it might end up being a little bit higher.
Yeah, there's a spot, for whatever reason, the blended data isn't seeing the heavier totals in northwestern Missouri and northeast Kansas very well. That's kind of an area that doesn't deal with the dry slot. I know multiple different models there indicating more than a foot of snow.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably an area where the math there on Clarity could be a little bit underdone.
Yep.
And I'm sure that's something that the team's talking about in their video updates and in their daily insights on Clarity for that area.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, this is the hand-drawn map
There
of
you
Vince
go.
Bryan, meteorologist Vince Bryan here drew this. That's his forecast right there. That line, that red is 8 to 12 inches, I believe.
Yep. 8
Is
to 12.
8 to 12. And then the yellow circle there is an indication of locally a foot or more of snow there, just to the north and northwest of Kansas City. So you're in the area for some big snow there. Southern Missouri, though, and southeast Kansas, southern Illinois, you're in the area for big ice, big ice threat there. These hand-drawn maps, by the way, are sent to your mobile devices through Clarity. Okay, so you want it,
And
sign up for it.
I do want to emphasize the point you made. Vince made this map, so if it doesn't pan out, we
can
know
blame
who to
Vince.
blame.
Hashtag blame Vince.
Hashtag blame Vince.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
This is our forecast for central Illinois and central Indiana. If you're in the red, it's 8 to 12 inches right now. We believe that at some time today around 3 o'clock, everybody will probably get winter storm watches. That's our thought process, unless the Weather Service waits another day. Whatever, that's fine. I don't think they will, but they might. Which, by the way, the National Weather Service in Indianapolis they've been very, very kind to us in the past several years. Talked to them at the Indiana State Fair and various meetings, and we're big supporters. And I don't like it when I see, if you guys follow us and you're fans of us, I don't like seeing our followers and fans going over there and saying, yeah, good stuff, but I listen to BAM only. Yeah, I think that's kind of nasty. So be friendly. If people are friendly to us, we are friendly to them. We treat others the way that we would like to be treated. All right, so show some respect to the Weather Service there in Indy, dedicated individuals, talented people, and people I've talked to for many years that are very nice. So no BS. No BS over there on the comments and dropping our name. Don't be dropping our name and being rude. I don't like that. So, anyways, there's the snow map. I'm going to pause on this for just a second, and I'm going to take questions. How's Greenfield, Indiana looking? 8 to 12. Troy, Ohio looks wherever you're at. There you go.
Yeah, so I think the pink here, Michael, is 6 to 10.
Yeah, I'm doing it so they can see it. There you go. Sorry, I know I'm hiding counties. I'm sorry. Scary we have to say that to grown-ass people. Yeah, it is, but it's true, unfortunately. Zach Logan, what's up, dude? Appreciate you watching, buddy. Guys, for those of you asking how much snow for where you live, look at the map. It's huge. It's right there. Look at it. That's why I'm showing it to you so you can see it. Here it is in all of its glory. There it is, the time, Sunday into Monday.
And, you know, something that I want to mention in terms of probably the biggest risk area, I'd have to say Southern Illinois, Southern Indiana. It just really depends on,
Yep.
I think, that deformation band.
Yeah.
Because if you don't get that second wave down there, it may be a lot of ice and sleet and not as much snow.
Which is why I wanted there to be so many colors there.
Yeah.
That's why there's so many contoured colored lines in that area, because the forecast could end up being a lot less snow and a lot more sleet and freezing rain, for sure.
Now, I will tell you that if you put a bunch of ice down and then put snow on top of it, that's going to be very hard to clear down there.
Yeah.
In terms of travel concerns and power outages, you know, Southern Indiana and Northern Kentucky, Southern Illinois, Southeast Missouri, that's an area that could have maybe some of the biggest problems. From a travel standpoint and from power outages. It's not quite to the extent of that 2009 storm in late January of 2009, but that was one that Southern Indiana had a half an inch to an inch of ice, Kentucky an inch to an inch and a half of ice, and it was pretty much shut down for a whole week.
Yeah.
So anytime you get more than a quarter of an inch to a half an inch of ice, it's a really big problem in terms of travel and power.
It almost becomes impossible, you know, to travel at that point, you know.
Yeah, for sure. The wind may help a little bit in this case,
Yep.
because it's breezy. So,
Very good points. Very good points. Brett, do you want to answer some questions? I'm going to
Yeah.
look at a couple things real quick. I'll keep the map up. Actually, you know what? I'll switch to the ice map.
yeah.
Here's the ice forecast right now. Again, it's pretty nasty. I wanted to check the EPS probabilities real quick from the ensembles.
With the wind increasing, will blowing and drifting be an issue? I would say so, because I would expect this to kind of be a little bit more of a powdery snow. The snowflakes in this case are forming well up in the atmosphere, and it's going to be pretty cold at the surface, so we're not really going to have any melting. So I would anticipate that this is a powdery snow, and if the winds continue, the wind forecast continues to increase, probably some blowing and drifting possible, especially as we go into Monday morning. Let's see here. School next week's closings, probably closings Monday. Down south, if there's power issues, probably Tuesday too. Let's see here. As if we needed another reason not to go watch the Colts on Sunday.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that was a sad game on Sunday.
Oh boy.
That was a sad game. But hey, keeps the Bengals alive for a playoff spot.
Sure.
And I like the Bengals. So let's see here. Driving to Michigan around 6 Sunday night, should I postpone? Yeah, unless you're coming from far northern Indiana to Michigan, if you're driving through Indiana, I would recommend finding another time to go. That's not going to be a good time to be driving. It's like right when the heaviest is coming in. Let's see here. So the ice map is up, so a quarter to a half an inch. Louisville, Evansville, E-Town, Elizabethtown. I don't know. Other people up here probably don't know the E-Town abbreviation. But Elizabethtown, Kentucky there
I don't know
is
it.
showing where I grew up. Lexington, Huntington. So now I do want to mention, for these areas with some heavier snow, Bloomington, Cincinnati, St. Louis, you're still probably going to get a glaze of ice and some sleet too, maybe some heavy sleet. So that creates kind of across the southern third of Indiana and Illinois a nasty mix
Yeah.
of wintry precipitation.
I'm listening. I'm grabbing something real quick.
Okay.
I gotta grab something.
Here, I'll hop on.
Sure.
I've been hanging out behind the
I need a why you are out thing.
I've been hanging out behind the scenes.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Oh, go ahead. No,
Okay.
you do
well,
what you're
anyway.
doing.
So
I'm
guys,
doing some math. real quick.
the area of uncertainty with this storm is going to be in here. So it's going to be, the southern 2 rows of counties in Indiana, all the way out to St. Louis here, and across central Missouri and far southern Ohio. And this is the area where a degree or two can make a really big difference in terms of the snow and sleet too. And so if you get a county shift north, which isn't out of the question, this could still wobble a county or two north or south, then you're looking at these areas getting almost entirely ice and not much snow. And then you would start to cut into snow totals a little bit. You know, if there's risk areas in terms of cutting into snow totals, Bloomington, Columbus, and Point South would be where that risk is probably. Still probably getting some snow there, but that would cut into the heavier totals. I feel at this point pretty confident about the I-70 corridor. Indy, Johnson County, pretty much anywhere in the Indianapolis metro area. I've got pretty high confidence at this distance, I would say.
Yeah. And what I was doing is, good night. I was looking at the QPF forecast, just the liquid forecast, and I was looking at the average temperature through the duration of the event here just in Indy. And I have 21 on the EPS is the average temperature, and I have 24 on the GEFS. The EPS has 0.9 liquid, and the GEFS has 1.2 liquid. And this is ensemble, by the way, ensemble mean. That would mean an Indy snowfall of 13.5 inches on the EPS
Okay.
at 15 to 1, because it's 21 degrees.
21 degrees.
At 15 to 1. At using the American model data, if you were to take 1.2 inches and you were to take it times 14 for a little bit warmer, that's 16.8 inches on the ensemble mean. I mean, so this is not, it's not like we're just pulling this data, out of a hat.
Yeah, that's a lot of QPF. Even if that's overdone, it's still a lot of
The
snow.
lower end Canadian ensemble is 0.75 QPF. So everything has high QPF ratings. The blend of models, the 18Z is actually coming in now. The 15Z QPF on the blend of models in Indy was 1.12 inches on the blend. And that's using a blend of over, in fact, I'll show it to you on our map on Clarity. That's using a blend of over 100 different weather models. And so when you factor in the ratio, you have to consider the potential for double-digit snowfall totals easily. That's the liquid forecast there in Indy from the blend here this morning, the blend of models. And if you just took 1.15 inches in that situation, and you took it, even if it was, say, 13, if it was conservative, at 13 to 1, that's 15 inches of snow. So we've got new maps that are getting ready to come in. They'll be in here in just a little bit. The current snow forecast, 7-day snow forecast for Indy, is sitting at 11 inches. And I'm almost 100% confident that that will go up with the new maps. So, winter storm watches are starting to fly in northeast in Nebraska and Kansas. So I imagine we'll start seeing the watches here anytime.
Yeah, and you know, I think that something else to note is this evening we should start to get the high-res data in, and that should start to maybe give us a little bit of a better idea of how heavy the snow really could be with the deformation band, that second wave that we've talked about. Sometimes the high-res data can see it a little bit better, and especially with the dry air, kind of that dry pocket that we see, that lull in precipitation, the high-res data can give us a little bit of a better idea of how long exactly, and you know, do we really resaturate things as much as we need to for as heavy of a snow as the European and the GFS are putting on the backside.
Someone says Cincinnati snow is just like the Bengals. I'll believe it when I see it. Listen, I don't disagree with you in Cincinnati, because you're in the danger zone where the warm nose could work its way up into there, and it could be more sleet than it would be snow. And it's why in our official forecast map, it's why we have this large gradient there in that area, because of the potential of those lower totals working in there. So,
Yeah, and that's in that risk area that I talked about a minute ago. I'm gonna come back over here. This gradient you can see from Bloomington kind of down towards Seymour, Indiana, and then across to northern Kentucky. I think there's a Sparta, Kentucky in here somewhere. There used to be a NASCAR track over there. But this area, guys, this is the high risk area. Higher, I wouldn't say bust, because you're still going to get freezing rain and sleet, but in terms of snow, the risk that if this comes north a little bit, you could get lower totals. Obviously, if it comes south, it could be the opposite end, but just the highest area of uncertainty right now.
Yep. So, guys, what is the time on Sunday it's popping off in central Indiana? Right about 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, we think. All right. When do you think they will be issuing winter storm watches? I think within 30 minutes or so, if I had to guess. I can't predict what the Weather Service will do. Regardless if we get a watch or not, it's still gonna happen. So, something to keep in mind.
Yeah, they'll even if they don't issue it this afternoon, they will issue it.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what their time frames are on that.
Right.
But we're getting within 72 hours of the start of this.
Yeah.
So
I will. I'll show clarity here so you guys can see. Did that update? No.
no.
I'll populate the alerts for you so you guys can see.
How far out do our gust probabilities go? No, 24 hours.
24 hours. But it's in chunks.
Oh, you're right. So this is going to give you an idea of the wind gust probabilities. So
That's ending.
at 1 a.m. on Monday. Right? Monday's the 6th.
Yeah. So Monday into Tuesday. Strong probabilities there of winds over 25 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I mean,
Over 70%.
yeah. So
So again, that would, it's not blizzard criteria, but it would certainly cause blowing and drifting snow.
54 mile per hour probabilities.
I'm scared.
Anyone? No, there are
No,
none.
not going to be that strong.
Not going to be that strong of winds. That's a good thing.
That is a very good thing.
Let me turn the alerts on for you all real quick so you can see. Again, they're probably starting to issue. There they are. Here they come. So you can see the alerts as they come in. They'll populate pretty quickly here. This particular winter storm watch there in northeast Kansas is going to be in effect, obviously, for 3 days. I can pull that up. And what it's going to tell me is 3 to 7 inches in higher amounts, winds as high as 35 miles per hour. yeah, winter storm watch is starting to come out. So I'm sure these will start filling in, if I had to guess, relatively quickly over the next 30 minutes. So no chances for blizzards. We're not forecasting blizzards, guys. A lot of people keep asking about blizzards. We're forecasting double-digit snowfall totals, but not blizzard.
And by the way, when we were talking, if you've been on the whole time, when we were talking about 1978 earlier, we were just talking about the storm. This storm does not compare to that storm whatsoever in terms of track, in terms of wind. It might in terms of snow totals.
Yeah.
In some spots,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
But it's that was what we call an APS runner. That low pressure system originated down on the Gulf Coast, and it rode up the Appalachian Mountains, which is a rather rare track.
Very.
And then it bombed out. It was probably would have been back then considered a bomb cyclone.
Yeah.
Which is why the winds were so strong. So those types of situations are extraordinarily rare.
Brett, the morning EPS mean is incredible. For those of you wondering about the pattern, come over here and check it out real quick.
Let's see.
What happens is the trough starts to retrograde back to the west, and the big ridge comes back into the North Pacific, and we've got plenty of snow chances probably mid-January with that look.
It's going to be really cold for probably the next 10 days. I bet it warms up. It did trend warmer. I bet it warms up for a time as we transition.
Yeah.
So
it's a good look. It's a good look in the long range.
It'll warm up briefly, and then the next cold shot will come in. The weekly data out through about the 25th of the month is very aggressive with cold and snow.
If I had to guess potential that the airport in Indy shuts down, I would say 70% probability. Of
Yeah,
8.
I don't know.
I don't know what it takes to shut them down.
I don't know what it takes to shut them down.
But I would bet they would shut it down if I had to guess.
I know Kirk. If we had a couple questions earlier about moving flights and stuff on Sunday morning, if it helps at all, Kirk had a flight on Sunday morning out for a talk he's doing, and he moved his flight.
Yeah.
So, if you trust us and trust that we're gonna do what's best around the weather, then there's
What do
your
you move
answer.
it to?
I think he moved it to Saturday.
Oh, so he just misses out on the storm.
Yeah.
Poor Kirky.
Poor Kirk.
Yeah.
But there is a strong correlation in this office between somebody not being here and us getting big storms. So that increases confidence even a little bit more.
Yeah, that's a true statement right there. Okay, well, guys, we've been live for over an hour. We've been here for a long time. We're going to get ready to get the Notre Dame game on.
Ooh.
We are excited about that. It's coming on at 4 o'clock. And then the halftime show between Notre Dame and Georgia, we're going to come on and talk about the latest model runs. We'll have new model runs in by then. We'll have some evening 18Z runs. The NWS did just put out a hazardous weather outlook, and it does say that there's a potential that a winter storm will impact the Ohio Valley on Sunday with widespread snowfall accumulations and sub-zero wind chills.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just
Yeah.
kind of prepping they're kind of, what do you call it, marinating the meat.
Yeah, we're getting ready.
Marinating the meat there from the NWS. So, cool. Well, guys, thank you for watching. Again, I would imagine your phones start going off with winter storm watches. Hey, here's that question again. I want to try and squash that. Someone says, how do you predict such a massive snow when it hasn't developed yet out in the Pacific Ocean? Again, very old thinking, outdated thinking. A lot of satellite data, a lot of weather balloon, airplane data, commercial flight data. We don't need storms to be overland to have better prediction. Okay, as they get into shorter model ranges with the high resolution models, that helps, but it doesn't increase or decrease confidence because the storm is over water.
No, and honestly, I think it has more to do with jet stream setups and blocking, what we call high pressure over the higher latitudes. That helps model data be a little bit more consistent.
Yep.
And the reason that the data for this storm has been a lot more consistent than what we've had since probably February of 2021 is because we haven't had any blocking since February of 2021. We haven't had any storms really since then.
It helps the models. They're skillful.
Yeah.
They're skilled more.
So
Vince really liked the marinate the meat comment. He just thought that was pretty funny.
Did he?
Yeah,
Did
he's
I'm sure that he did. By the way, again, the snowfall map is the snowfall map there Vince made. So if it's wrong,
blame Vince.
blame Vince.
Hashtag blame Vince. That's our forecast right now. Look for us to go live at the start of the halftime show tonight. Go Notre Dame. Have a great evening.
See you. Bye.